Do you know how long the Enterprise in the original series is? Well, let's paint a picture for you. It's 953.7 feet. Yes, you heard that right. That's more than the length of 3 football fields laid end to end. Quite a sight, isn't it? Now, imagine that colossal structure, not on an open field, but soaring through the depths of space. The enormity of the Enterprise is not just about being awe-inspiring. It also presents its own unique set of challenges. From the engineering marvels needed to keep such a massive structure functional in the harshness of space, to the logistical intricacies of managing a crew living and working within it. It's like having a small, self-contained city floating around in the cosmos. So, the Enterprise in TOS is like 3 football fields flying through space. Now, let's switch gears to the next generation. Can you guess how long the Enterprise D is? Here's a hint. The original Enterprise from the original series was a whopping 953.7 feet long. That's impressive, right? Well, hold on to your seats, because the Enterprise D from the next generation is more than twice that size. Imagine a starship that's 2,103 feet long. That's right. The Enterprise D is as astonishingly massive as the Paramount Studio lot in Hollywood. This size was a significant step up from the original Enterprise, offering more space for the crew, more room for adventures, and a whole new level of awe-inspiring visuals for the series. So, next time you're watching an episode of The Next Generation, remember, those characters are adventuring in a starship as big as a Hollywood studio lot. The Enterprise D is as big as Paramount Studios. Imagine that. So, how do these two Enterprises compare? Let's dive in. The original series Starship Enterprise, or TOS Enterprise, measures up at 953.7 feet. Now that's no small rocket ship. To put that into perspective, it's longer than the length of 3 football fields put together. That's a lot of space to explore. And it certainly gave our beloved Captain Kirk and his crew plenty of room to maneuver, strategize, and have their adventures. But then came the Next Generation, or TNG Enterprise. This beast of a starship is a whopping 2,103 feet long. That's over twice as long as the TOS Enterprise. To give that some context, it's as big as the Paramount Studio lot in Hollywood. Imagine that, a spaceship the size of an entire movie studio. Now, what does this mean in terms of storytelling and character experiences? Well, a larger ship allows for more diverse settings within the series. It creates room for more characters, more subplots, more intrigue. It's no longer just about the bridge and the engine room. There are 10 forward, holodecks, and countless other locations within the ship that provide a backdrop for the story. Moreover, a larger ship also means a larger crew, which translates into a wider range of character interactions and experiences. We can see this clearly in TNG, where the crew's personal lives play a significant role in the series' narrative. But it's not just about size. The vast difference in scale between the TOS and TNG Enterprises also reflects the evolution of the Star Trek universe. It shows how the series has grown, physically and metaphorically, from its humble beginnings to the expansive and diverse universe we know today. So, there you have it. We've journeyed from a starship the size of 3 football fields to one as big as an entire movie studio. That's quite the upgrade, from 3 football fields to an entire movie studio. But why does size matter in the Star Trek universe, you might ask? The answer lies in the multifaceted implications of the sizes of starships, particularly the Enterprises. Firstly, let's consider the capabilities of the ship. The larger the ship, the more advanced technology it can house. For instance, the Enterprise D, being over twice the length of the original Enterprise, could accommodate more advanced warp engines, enabling it to travel at higher speeds and over greater distances. This increased size also allowed room for more elaborate defense systems and weaponry, giving it an edge in confrontations. Moving on, the size of the ship directly impacts the number of crew members it can accommodate. The original Enterprise from the original series, despite its impressive length of 953.7 feet, could house a crew of about 430. On the other hand, the Enterprise D, with its staggering length of 2,103 feet, could comfortably accommodate a crew of over 1,000. This increased capacity meant more hands on deck, more minds at work, and ultimately, a more efficient and effective crew. Finally, The size of the ship determines the types of missions it can undertake. A smaller ship may be more suited for reconnaissance or diplomatic missions, where speed and discretion are paramount. However, larger ships like the Enterprise D are essentially floating cities in space, capable of long-term deep space exploration and large-scale combat missions. Their size allows them to carry supplies for extended periods and sustain a larger crew over long durations. The size of a starship in the Star Trek universe is not just a matter of grandeur or spectacle. It has practical implications that affect the ship's performance, the crew's living conditions, and the nature of the missions it can undertake. Therefore, when we marvel at the magnitude of these vessels, we're not just admiring their physical dimensions. We're appreciating the ingenuity and foresight of the Starfleet engineers who designed them and the vast array of possibilities they represent. As you can see, in the Star Trek universe, size really does matter. So, what have we learned about the Enterprises? Well, we've discovered that the original series Enterprise stretches an impressive 953.7 feet, which is, astonishingly, more than the length of 3 football fields laid end to end. That's quite the spaceship, wouldn't you agree? But that's not all. When we move on to the Enterprise D from the next generation, we're dealing with a spacecraft that's more than twice the length of Kirk's ship, coming in at a whopping 2,103 feet. To wrap your head around that, you'd need to imagine the entire Paramount studio lot in Hollywood, because yes, that's the equivalent size we're talking about here. So next time you watch Star Trek, remember, you're looking at spacecraft the size of football fields and movie studios.